So picture this. You're an artist in pre-World War II era Japan, and you have this amazing house, and you're growing, and people know about you and everything. And then the war starts, and you want to play your part in the war, and you do that. But then the war ends, and Japan lost, and the very people that you were fighting against become the younger generation's ideals. The samurais are replaced by cowboys. The houses with the gardens are replaced by apartment buildings. And you have to accept this change, and you have to accept the fact that everything that you believed was right is now wrong. But the sad part is that, you're an old man, so change is scary. I'm talking about the book An Artist of the Floating World by Kazuo Ishiguro. Hi everyone, my name is Vartha. My friends call me Penguin, and I talk about books. My side quests are books that I'm reading on the side of the main books that I'm reading to kind of, use as a palate cleanser or to, get out of a rut. One of my side quests was An Artist of the Floating World. Kazuo Ishiguro takes us through this journey of an old man going through change in a very, very scary time. And then he talks about how an overwhelming change could be for anybody, let alone somebody who has led their life a certain way. And then all of a sudden, everything that they knew becomes wrong. Life as they knew it becomes wrong. And they have to deal with that, and they have to adapt to that. It talks about how war is not just on the forefront. It talks about how war is fought by artists and singers and actors and writers and poets and everybody. It also talks about how certain people would rather stay in their bubble and not look into the world's problems because, it doesn't concern them. And they would rather spend their whole life living in that bubble than to, open their eyes to see what are the problems that the people of the world are actually facing. It also talks about how some people get this certain idea that they themselves are responsible for making this change, and they would be able to bring about a revolution or a change through their work. But they don't understand that change isn't just dependent on one person. There are so many different factors to it. And what the book really talks about is how you have this perception of yourself in your head, and what happens to you when that perception breaks. So what I really liked about the book was that it's not a lengthy book, and the author beautifully takes you through this journey and puts you through in the shoes of this artist who is caught in this whirlwind of change during and after and before World War II. It talks about his relationships with his friends, his colleagues, his students, and how over time that relationship changes because of your religious views, because of your political views, because of how you choose to look at the world. One thing that I really, really, really liked about reading this was that the book had this very beautiful flow. The paragraphs did not seem choppy. It had some beautiful lines in it, and it just felt like, going through a river. It didn't feel like I had to put an extra effort to read it. So yes, if you've read any other books by the author, do let me know. I would love to read more of his work. If you've read this book, do tell me what your thoughts are. What do you think? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I would love to hear your thoughts. And yes, comment, subscribe, like, and yeah.